part of the design process was just dreaming about how we want to use that space. What's important to us, being with family, being with friends, and making that a place that people want to be. I think the part that I thought was really important about the design phase and what it was doing on the front end of the project was really eliminating a lot of the risk. We understood better what we were getting as a product, and I felt like we knew the costs up front. We knew we had someone that was handling all the contractors and making sure that they show up, and that was something we didn't have to worry about. So it really took a lot of risk out of that.
The critical point about getting the design right is that you don't want to have misgivings of the end project that it didn't turn out as good as you had hoped.
It's really an intuitive process. There's places where you can guide, and there's places where you need to step back and be the backseat person. Throughout the process, you discover where those points are. Couples don't always agree on different things, and so you have to hear what's important to one and what's important to the other and try to sometimes mesh the two. And sometimes people want me to lead more in that design process. Sometimes that's a good way to navigate those disagreements.
I think Home Depot, Menards will do a free design on your kitchen, and I always say, well, how much is that free design worth? About as much as you paid for it. There's definitely some issues that can come up if you pick the wrong colors, the wrong schemes. Probably the biggest jeopardy is just not having it come out because it wasn't thought through, or somebody who just really didn't have the experience was guessing. I'll say candidly, sometimes we have clients that overrule us, even when we're trying to nudge them in a better direction, and sometimes we have to be okay to live with that because they picked it out.
No one tried to convince me to do something that I definitely did not want. So that part of the design phase was really good. I feel like I got a lot of help direct me to make the right choices that go with my personality and what my desires were to have my kitchen function for me and what I needed with the size family that we have, since I do entertain a lot.
It's a fun process, and when you do the design work, like the behind the scenes things, it's like asking the questions like, how do you cook, how do you entertain, how many people do you entertain when you have them over, do you have 2 fannies in the kitchen or is it usually 1, what are the pain points for which you have right now? In a kitchen design, there's a lot of those questions, and those help lend to the best designs.
Shuri, I'm really curious about how much work goes in on your end as far as, what it takes to do the design project.
It's really hard to say how much time goes into it, and every project is so different. It's very labor intensive.
You could spend anywhere from 40 to 100 hours on this phase before we even get to a construction phase. For the amount of work that goes into it, that initial investment of getting it right is well worth the time spent in the design portion of things.
You guys knew what we wanted in the fireplace, and some people said, well, we can't do that. And you guys are like, we think we can, and you figured out a way to do it, and that was cool.
I think Jonah's words were that'd be easy.
That was his first words.
They came back to me and said, what'd I tell them? No.
But also the wood, 2-tone. And now which one do you want lighter, which do you want darker, where is it going to blend? And then do we distress it or do we not distress it?
And we did.
Yes, and it's beautiful.
I think the overall use of how my husband and I can sit at the banquet for the morning and have coffee, and then sit at the island and have lunch, and then sit at the dining room table and have supper, and we have 3 choices of different places we want to sit depending on what view we want to look at. That has been really exciting for us. It was like Christmas all over again when I unpacked my stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
A really memorable Christmas.
Yeah.